Shooting for a short film began here in downtown Plymouth not too long ago, and it probably happened without too many people noticing. It's possible that it's because all of the filming took place at night. It's also possible that independent filmmakers know how not to draw attention to themselves and just get to the business of making movies. We stopped by on their first night of taping to find out their secrets. You may have thought you'd stumbled across a Hollywood movie set, or at least some back street in Los Angeles where independent films are made, if you'd headed down Water Street in Plymouth at night recently. While the idea of Plymouth being home to Hollywood East fell by the wayside, it hasn't slowed filmmakers from using America's hometown as a resource to create some pretty interesting fly-under-the-radar films. Executive producer Carlyne Fournier and director Swati Srivastava pooled their resources, and after some location scouting, they ended up here.
I always find myself going to Rhode Island or New York or LA to film stuff. And I said, you know what? When I do this film, I want to do it here. So a couple weeks ago, I had tech scout night with the crew because they're like, we're not doing this in Plymouth, are we? And I said, yes. So I showed them all the locations and they were like, wow, Plymouth is amazing.
And while an alleyway may not seem like much of a location, getting permission to film anywhere takes some serious doing. Luckily for Carlyne Fournier, she doesn't hear the word no very often when she makes requests.
I think a lot of people know me as the lady who always get yeses. And I kind of do because I have very good rapport. I respect boundaries. I do things by the book. And I have worked with the town of Plymouth a couple years ago when we did Take My Keys. Everybody got involved and they loved the final product. So when I came around this time, they're like, whatever you need. And so here we are.
Here we are indeed, a full-blown movie set with all that it entails. Lights, cameras, actors, smoke machines, and a good week's worth of movie making ahead of them. The first night of shooting takes place here in downtown Plymouth at the Dirty Water Distillery. Actually, it's not in the distillery itself, but around back in the alleyway, and they'll be shooting for the next 6 nights. We got here before they even started filming, so it's been really cool to see how they set up all their shots and then put it into action. Even though the crew spends a good portion of the day setting up, the filming itself takes place when the sun goes down, which is convenient if you're trying not to disrupt the flow of business in town. But it also just happens to coincide with the storyline.
The whole film happens at night. And it's a story of a man named Connor, who actually we never know his name in the film. And he's an assassin, a hitman. And at the beginning of the film, he finds himself shot dead in an alley. This is the alley. And, you know, he is dead. But then, for some strange reason, never explained, he's given 1 more hour. And the movie follows him. We follow him, his journey of this hour and what he's going to do in this 1 hour. So the movie actually asks the question of the audience, what would you do if you had 1 more hour to live?
As someone who's behind the camera more often than in front of it, I found it fascinating that they could transform this nondescript alleyway into a movie set crime scene. It even got me thinking of the possibilities that exist all over this town for others who may want to try their hand at this. One of the scenes in the film will be shot here at the Brewster Tunnel, and this kind of serves as a reminder for any budding filmmaker who thinks they might have to travel long distance to make a film. You can do a lot of stuff right here in the town of Plymouth because there are so many great locations. Reporting for PCN, I'm Brian Sullivan.